For the past few years, if you've been following the AI revolution, it's felt like a story about just one thing, right? Computer chips. Who has the fastest GPUs? Who can train the biggest models? But what if I told you the biggest roadblock to our AI future isn't digital at all? What if it's something way more basic, something physical that could literally bring this whole thing to a screeching halt? And look, don't just take my word for it. This is Satya Nadella, the CEO of Microsoft, one of the biggest players in AI on the entire planet. He's flat out saying his problem isn't getting the chips, it's finding a place with enough juice to plug them in. This one quote just perfectly sums up the new reality. The AI revolution is running headfirst into an energy wall.
Okay, so just how big of a deal is this energy problem? Well, the numbers, they're honestly kind of hard to wrap your head around. We're not talking about just flipping on a few more light bulbs here. We're talking about a tidal wave of electricity demand that's already starting to reshape entire energy markets. Let's just start with the scale of a single one of these AI facilities.
Okay, look at this number, 500 megawatts. What does that even mean? Well, that's the power demand for just one single large-scale AI data center campus. To give you some perspective, that's pretty much the same amount of electricity needed to power a major city district. So yeah, one AI facility now has the energy appetite of an entire city. Wild, right?
And it's not stopping there. This demand is accelerating like you wouldn't believe. This chart, based on S&P Global data, really lays it out. By 2025, US data centers are going to need around 62 gigawatts of power. Okay, big number. But now look at the jump just 5 years later. By 2030, it's projected to hit 134 gigawatts. It's more than doubling in just 5 years. This isn't some slow and steady increase, it's a flat-out explosion, and it's putting a crazy amount of strain on our power systems.
So with demand just going through the roof, the obvious question is, well, why don't we just build more power plants? It sounds simple, right? But the problem is that AI's crazy appetite for power is smashing right up against the physical limits of our existing electric grid.
All right, so this slide really breaks down the three biggest hurdles the grid is facing. First up, demand is just soaring way faster than we can build new power capacity. I mean, in places like Virginia and Texas, the utilities are already throwing up their hands saying they're hitting their limits. Second, a lot of our grid infrastructure is, well, it's old. But the real kicker, the biggest bottleneck, is that third point, the interconnection queue. You can think of it like a massive waiting list. Even if you build a brand new solar farm or power plant today, you have to get in line to get approval to actually plug it into the grid. And that wait, it can be 5, even 10 years long. AI companies just don't have that kind of time to wait around.
So this massive grid bottleneck is forcing these data center developers to get, well, pretty creative. It's leading to a radical new strategy. If you can't get power from the grid fast enough, what's your next move? You start making it yourself. And this is where we get the whole bring your own power model.
And the change we're seeing here is absolutely fundamental. For decades, it was simple. Data centers were just passive customers. They'd find a spot with a big power line, plug in, and they were good to go. The new model completely flips that on its head. Now they're becoming active energy producers, literally building their own power generation right next to their servers. And believe me, this isn't just some fringe idea. As K.R. Sridhar, the CEO of Bloom Energy, puts it, this has gone from being just a catchy slogan to a business necessity. For the AI hyperscalers, we're talking the Googles, the Microsofts, the Amazons. Building their own power isn't a nice-to-have anymore. It's a must-do if they want to survive in this AI race.
So how exactly are they doing this? How are they generating their own power? Well, the first major solution is to bring the power plant right to the data center's doorstep. And this is where on-site generation, led by companies like Bloom Energy with their really advanced fuel cell tech, comes into the picture. So what are these things? Think of them like super efficient, compact power plants that come in a box. You install them right at the data center. They use this cool, non-combustion process to create a steady, reliable stream of electricity. And the best part? It's totally independent of the public grid. It's like having your own personal power source, which means you get to completely skip that 5 to 10 year wait time we were talking about. And this isn't just a theory. It's already happening at a huge scale. I mean, look at this. Bloom Energy is partnering with the investment giant Brookfield to build entire AI factories. They're working with utilities like AEP to provide bridge solutions while the main grid tries to catch up. And they're already powering the digital backbone for huge companies like Equinix and Oracle. This stuff is happening right now, as we speak.
But powering a single data center with on-site fuel cells is just one part of the solution. What if you need to power an entire campus of these things? For that, you have to think even bigger. Instead of just your own power source, you build your own dedicated power plant. And that's the strategy being pushed by energy giants like NextEra Energy.
This strategy has a name: Bring Your Own Generation, or BYOG for short. As NextEra's CEO laid it out, it's a pretty direct solution. The biggest data companies basically fund their own massive power projects. We're talking a full-on solar farm or a natural gas plant built just for them. It completely bypasses the public grid's limitations.
And the scale of these deals is just mind-blowing. NextEra is working with Google to develop entire data center campuses that are gigawatt scale, with the power generation baked in from day one. They're even partnering with an energy giant like Exxon to build a 1.2 gigawatt power plant for one specific large data center. It's a whole new world.
And the ambition here is just massive. NextEra's CEO has gone on record saying he'd be disappointed if they didn't develop at least 30 gigawatts of these powered data center hubs by 2035. That is a colossal amount of new energy generation, and it's all going to be dedicated to one thing: powering AI.
So what's the big picture here? What does all this mean? Well, we are witnessing a truly historic shift in what it takes to even compete in the world of artificial intelligence. It's about so much more than just fancy chips and clever algorithms now.
The takeaway is really simple. The first half of the AI race was all about compute. This next half, the one we're in right now, is all about power. Being able to secure huge, reliable, and fast-to-deploy energy sources is now the #1 most critical physical bottleneck for AI development, period.
And this really raises the stakes beyond just which company is winning. Look at this equation. Compute equals power, and power equals national strength. There's now a direct line you can draw from having the best computers to controlling the energy to run them, all the way to a country's geopolitical influence. The ability to power AI is fast becoming a matter of national security.
So the key takeaway is crystal clear. The AI race has officially become a power race. And the most important question for the next decade of tech progress is no longer just who's building the best chips. It's now who is building the energy to win.